What is the most number of kites you have flown at one time?
It's a good question. I think I've flown 51 Peter Pals in a stack all at once. It was at the Wright Brothers Memorial. I think it's actually a record for 4-foot diamonds. At the time, I was working with Kitty Hawk Kites. Peter Pal was around, and there was another startup brand called Frontier, and they started stacking kites on the Gulf Coast and sort of publicizing it. And I remember as Bill Baker at the time, he was running, I think, the U.S. distributor for Peter Pal, got a little jealous, and so he would reach out to the kite store, and at the time, Kitty Hawk Kites sold a bunch of Peter Pals. It was really everybody, that was the thing. And so we had a bunch of old stacks, like where you would fly all day. We'd call them, kind of dead kites. And we'd put them together and we'd stack them. And he saw that, and he would start sending us kites, and we would just put them together and put them together. He was sending us Kevlar train lines, like everything we needed. Like all we had to do was basically just tie loops and connect this stuff. So once upon a time, we had 25, and there was 30 and 35, and I think our group set the record early on, and then at some point we kept collecting kites, and we flew 51, and this was probably in 1994.
Nice.
So my question is, what is the worst kite injury that you've ever seen or heard about in your life?
Oh, there's a number of them, and they're about as equal. No, God, Steve Etika, his was the worst because he died.
Was that the big kite?
That was the big kite where he got tangled up in at Long Beach. What was it, 1,200 square foot foil launching it. But the other one that's more current and closer to us was Doug LaRock in, where are they from? Not Walla Walla, but Yakima. They're from Yakima. And he was launching by himself his 60-foot Delta. And it was light wind. And he was walking it. And then the wind picked up. And in fractions of a second, he was 30 feet above the ground. And he couldn't hold on. And he landed on his feet. And it bruised his heart, punctured a lung, shattered bones in his legs, his arm. They life flighted him to Seattle, and Phil Burke they're really close friends, and so is Rod Thrall. And when they got the call, they drove up to Seattle, and he was a mess, and he's still flying, or he's pretty much getting rid of his kites, but yeah.
Oh, he didn't die. Wow.
Oh no, he's still alive.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and he'd come down to Lincoln City and still fly, and he had his 4-wheel drive machine that he would go down onto the beach with. He got a special license from the state and come down and brought down his 120-foot spin sock. But yeah, that was nasty. But okay. Okay. 8. Oh, I turned it over. Jeez. What is something I would never guess about you?
That I found the love of my life on the kite field. What is the strangest thing you have ever heard while kite flying?